हम देखेंगे पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम के बारे में। तो द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया प्रोवाइड्स फॉर ए पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट both center and states. Article 75, 74 and 75 with the parliamentary system at the center, and Article 63, 163 and 164 in the states. So Article 74, 75 in the center and states in 70, Article 64, 63. So modern democratic governments are classified into parliamentary and presidential on the basis of nature of relation between the executive and the legislative organ of the government. तो मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट जो है उसको क्लासीफाई करते हैं हमने पार्लियामेंट्री एंड प्रेसिडेंशियली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ नेचर ऑफ रिलेशन बिटवीन एक्सिक्यूटिव एंड द लेजिस्लेटिव ऑर्गन में. एंड पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इज वन ऑफ द व्हिच द एक्सिक्यूटिव is responsible for legislature for its politics acts. The presidential system of government, on the other hand, is one in which executive is not responsible for the legislative for its. The presidential system of government, on the other hand, is one in which the executive is not responsible to the legislature for its. So here is the parliamentary government is also known as cabinet government or responsible government or Westminster model of government. So it is important. Parliamentary government is also known as cabinet government, responsible government or Westminster government of the government, and is prevalent in Britain, Japan, Canada, India, and among others. The presidential government, on the other hand, is also known as non-responsible and non-parliamentary and fixed executive system. So the presidential government, on the other hand, is also known as non-responsible, non-parliamentary and fixed executive system of government, and is prevalent in USA, Russia, Brazil, Sri Lanka, and others. Albert Jennings called parliamentary system is a cabinet system because the cabinet is the nucleus of powers in a parliamentary system. So Albert Jennings called by a parliamentary system is a cabinet system because the cabinet is the nucleus of powers in a parliamentary system. The parliamentary government is also known as responsible government. And cabinet, that is a cabinet. The real executive is accountable to the Parliament and stays in office so long as it enjoys the later confidence. It is described Westminster model of government after the location of the British Parliament, where the parliamentary system originated. In the first, the British constitutional and political experts described Prime Minister as primus inter pares, first among equals in relation to the cabinet. In the recent period, the cabinet ministers' powers influence the position have increased. In the recent period, Prime Minister power influence position and position have increased significantly. That is the cabinet. He has come to play a dominant role in the British political administrative system. British political administrative system में उसका power बहुत ज़्यादा है. Hence, the later political analyst, the Crossman, Mackintosh, and others have described the British system of government as the prime ministerial government. The same description holds good in the Indian context. So, British system of government is as prime ministerial government. The features of parliamentary government. So here the features of the parliamentary system: nominal and real. The president is nominal executive, de jure. de jure executive and titular executive. Thus, the president is the head of the state, and the prime minister is the head of the government. And Article 74. Here, Article 74 provides for the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister to aid and advise to the President in the exercise of the function. The advice are so tendered is being on President. Majority party rule important. The political party which secures majority seats on the Lok Sabha informs the government. The leader of the party of that party is appointed by the Prime Minister by the President. Other ministers are appointed by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. However, when no single party gets the majority, a coalition parties may be invited by the President to form government. And third is collective responsibility. This is bedrock principle of parliamentary government. The minister and are collectively responsible to the parliament in general and to the Lok Sabha. In particular, Article 75. The minister collectively responsible to the parliament in general to the Lok Sabha. In particular, Article 75, they act as a term and swim and sing together. The principle of collective responsibility implies that the Lok Sabha can improve the ministry. There is Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister from office of the passing vote of no confidence. Next is political hegemony. Usually, members of the Council of Ministers belongs to the same political party. They share some same political ideology. In case of coalition government, the ministers are bound by consensus. Double membership. The minister are member of both the legislature and executive. This means that the person cannot be a minister without being a member of the parliament. The constitution stipulates that a minister who is not a member of the parliament for a period of 6 consecutive months ceases to be a minister. Leadership of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister plays a leadership role in the system of the government. He is the leader of the Council of Ministers, leader of the Parliament, and leader of the party in power. In these capacities, he plays a significant and highly crucial role in the functioning of the government. 7. Dissolution of the lower house. The lower house of the Parliament, Lok Sabha, can be dissolved by the President on recommendation of the Prime Minister. In other words, Prime Minister can advise the President to dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of its term, then hold fresh election. This means that the executive enjoy the right to get legislature dissolved in the parliamentary system. Secrecy. The minister operate on the principle of secrecy of procedure and cannot be divulge information about the president's policies and decisions. They make oath on secrecy before entering their office. The oath of secrecy to the ministers is administered by the president. So here all are important. So here the features of the parliamentary system: nominal versus real, executive. Second, majority party rule and collective responsibility. Political hegemony and double membership and leadership of the Prime Minister is important all the time. And dissolution of the lower house and secrecy. Next is seen features of the president's government.